Monday? It was on Monday? There was 3 ladies here, and I just say I appreciate them being here. Then all of a sudden, huh? Oh, you were on a computer. I did hear you there one time. All right, but no. Go ahead. Yes, sir.
What is the message that you give to players comparing trying to win games, but also building for the future with, say, draft choices? What do you tell the players? Because they know you're in a rebuilding process, and yet you still are committed to Tyrod trying to win.
Well, again, I don't think our football team feels that way. You know, our football team basically goes out and try to win the next ball game, and that's always the goal. It's never ever been mentioned. As I said before, I think I said it last week to somebody, is that those guys every game they go out and try to play to win, and regardless of who the quarterback is, they're out trying to play to win.
Would it send a bad message if you had a healthy Tyrod sitting there doing everything he's supposed to do, but yet he's playing a rookie?
No, I don't think it would send a message. I think, again, he's our starting quarterback, and he was our starting quarterback before he got hurt. He's our starting quarterback now.
What were some of the things that you noticed through the what were some of the things you noticed through the offensive mishaps in that game? And in some ways, like what has kept you guys from spreading the ball out amongst your receivers? It seems like Brandon Cooks is y'all's go-to guy. I mean, how would you like to spread it out?
What you talking about, the last game?
Yeah.
Bad decisions. I mean, he made some bad decisions. Obviously, he was a little rusty and he wasn't sharp. But there were calls that we had that could have gone down the field to different guys. They didn't, because of some bad decisions.
David, your players, understandably, like you said, they play with the one game in mind and stuff. But as a coach, do you have to consider at all playing guys for the sake of development, or even if maybe a more veteran player who is better in the short term?
Right now, I'm just playing the best players to give us a chance to win, and whoever that is, that's who we'll play.
Have you made any decisions on whether you'll bring back some of the offensive line, like Larry Tunsil and Justin Britt, as far as starting their practice window?
We'll see how it is. They're in the rehab right now. I know Justin's probably a little bit further away than Laramie is as far as coming back, but I'll know more later on in the week about where Laramie is at this point.
Is Taylor going to get a chance to play?
Excuse me?
Taylor going to get a chance to play?
We'll see, John.
Is he healthy?
He's healthy.
You talked before the bye about evaluating everything and kind of taking a look at yourself. Through that evaluation, can you tell us what you found out and if there's going to be any changes from that?
Christy, that's a really good question. And basically, during the bye week, people ask, well, what do you do during the bye week? First our players had some time off. I gave some coaches a little time off at the end of the week. But prior to going off, we self-evaluated everything, offense, defense, and special teams. And the reason you do that, it was good for us at this point because after 9 ball games, you kind of get to go and see exactly what you are and who you are. And what we found out during that time is that what you do is you find out and you look and you see what has it you've been doing good. The things that you haven't been doing good, eliminate those things, regardless of how we felt like these plays would work. They weren't working. They weren't very good. And what we found out is that when you go back and you look at the things that you were doing good, we want to do more of those things now in the run game and the pass game. And then the other thing about that is that when you look and you see what that is you sit here and you say, we got to get better at doing those things. Now, what's been hid through all the good things that we have been doing, especially offensively, is the penalties and the turnovers. And so with that being said, moving forward, we got to have a relentless effort in practice from our coaches, our players, every play, every practice, every meeting of doing things the right way. Because you eliminate those things and you see the reason the good things get blinded is because of us having bad penalties at certain times. Penalties are going to happen, but some penalties are bad penalties. We've had some bad penalties. And then the turnovers. We go back and we looked at it, talked about the self-evaluation. We feel like there's probably 3 ball games that we played this year that if we don't have bad penalties and we don't turn the ball over, you have a chance to win the game.
David, how has your role in game planning for the offense evolved? I know you just talked about making some adjustments in the bye week and self-evaluating. Have you found yourself evolving as a coach through these first 9 games, whatever it is?
Basically, I allow Tim and his staff to basically do what they feel like is best. They know my feelings on what I want done. They've tried to do that, to get that done. The same thing with offensively and defensively with Lovey and with Frank. I go in and they tell me what the plan is this week, and I make suggestions. You know, they come to him and says, do you like this, you like that? And basically in the end is I trust them to do what we feel like is best for us to do.
You mentioned how
say
the,
that y'all do well. I know you said you're going to scrap some of the things you don't. What are the things that you feel like y'all do well?
Well, when we have run the ball in certain situations, now I don't want to give you all the little stuff that we've done well because I don't want the Titans to know what we're going to end up doing. But the point is that we felt like that there are certain things in the run game that we need to do more of that we've been good at. We've been doing some things in the run game that try to do some things in the run game that we hadn't done so well. And some of the things in the run game that we have done well, if we do them more, I think will help us in our pass game.
What was your self-evaluation of yourself?
I got to do a better job. When you 1-8, you got to do a much better job of that, and that trickles all the way down to my coaches and to the players.
But what are some things you feel like you haven't done a good job of in the first 9 games?
Well, I haven't gotten across about turnovers and the penalties, and I got to do a better job of that. And like I said before, there's going to be a relentless effort from me and on down to our staff to making sure that we do a much better job at doing that, because those are the two things that have keeping us from doing what we need to do.
you mentioned on offense, you were saying some things that were, you were identifying things.
Brooks, again?
On things on offense that were working and weren't working, how much of the things, like, I guess, if percentage-wise, I guess, were the things that you guys were doing that you're throwing out now, and how different is the offense going to look going forward?
Well, it'll look much differently because we don't have those penalties. If we don't have the penalties and we don't turn the ball over, what you're going to see is you're going to see a more consistent offensive football team in the things that we're doing.
Can you talk about? Go ahead. Can you just talk about takeaways, turnovers? You guys have done that on defense, but you've not done a very good job of converting those. What are you doing to do better about taking advantage of when you take the ball away?
Well, the thing is, again, as I said, eliminate those penalties and not give it back to them with a turnover, which we've been doing. And I think now after self-evaluation, we've seen that we've been doing some things that we haven't done very well. If we don't do those things moving forward, then the things that we do well, that we know we're good at, will allow us to not be able to turn the ball back over and be able to be more consistently on offense.
How much of your scouting involved?
David, on the penalty topic, you guys will have reps, obviously, during the off-season come and show the points of emphasis. Is there anything you can do in season to kind of teach out some of the penalties and say, well, this is going to get you the flag in the game?
Well, we do that in practice. Normally without the COVID deal, we normally would have officials at practice because of the COVID and the protocols that we've had. We haven't had them at practice now. We've kind of been doing that ourselves, and sometimes it's hard to be able to consistently do that where, we're more concerned with getting a play run and guys doing what they need to do offensively and defensively. And so we're thinking about trying to see if we can get more of that done in practice, or maybe getting them here, because the COVID rules they've kind of gotten them where now you can kind of maybe possibly get some guys in to do that.
Your scouting involved, Derek. Go ahead.
Coach, not a good record coming out of the bye week. What is the message to the fans?
To the fans, we're going to play better. Our football team is going to play better. And the big message is to our football team is that we got to be a smarter football team. We got to play better. And I think with all the stuff that we've done during the self-scout, that you'll end up seeing us doing that.
David, how do you
Scouting
keep
involved.
spirits high in the locker room when you're in the middle of a tough season?
Yeah, their head coach's spirit is high. So when they see me and I walk in there, every day they're going to see that. And our coaching staff is the same way. That's a really good dressing room that I got in there with those players. I haven't seen anybody with their head down. They know we don't do that here. They know that everything's going to be positive. We just got to make the corrections. They trust what we're doing. We just got to do it better.
How much of your scouting involved Derrick Henry, and how have you seen the Titans still find success without him?
Well, Brooks, the thing about him is this: they are who they are. With him, obviously, he's a special player, probably only one of his kind in this league right now. But since he's been out, what we've seen is instead of them giving the ball to him, they're giving it to 2 or 3 other guys. They're doing the same things on offense that they've done before, when they had him. It's just that now they're doing it with 2 or 3 other guys, which is, there's only one of him. Got it? Mm-hmm.